What is good, all you beautiful people out there? It's your boy Tim, and I just finished recording an episode of the Tim Shieff podcast. I'm going to leave you here with a 5-minute snippet from it, and if you want to check out the full thing, I'll link it down below. Hope you enjoy. It's like a lot of child's play movements, crawling upstairs, but with the sort of wisdom of an elder who understands posture and mobility. So it's not just scrambling up, it's like thinking about the elbow position.
You had like 20-25 people on their hands and knees,
crawling upstairs, crawling across the floor, doing camel walks, balancing on railings, vaulting over railings.
All ages, or was
all
it
ages?
Mostly,
yeah, from like 12 to like 60, 65. Spinning, did a lot. I put spinning in class.
Are you breaking a sweat? Are these people
no, just breaking a sweat, but never out of breath. Never out of breath. Yeah. And it was just really an eye-opener for me to go, wow, I have got my own style. You know, I love like Ido Portal and Kelly Starrett, and I really look up to that. And I really study these people in like their interviews. It's not just the movements, but I'm getting like how their mind works. Knowledge. And it's just amazing to realize that I've got my own version to bring, and I'm just starting to develop it now.
I hate to put you on the spot, but you know, let's say someone's listening to this at home and they're just sitting on the couch and they have you in their earbuds. Can you walk them through something they can do right now on the ground right in front of them that would be a Tim Shieff special?
On the floor?
I don't know, on the floor? Or
yeah, I mean, if a stair set is a great...
All right, let's say they got stairs in their house.
Yeah.
Well, what would you imagine them doing?
Yeah, so I guess put both hands on the second step and then hop both your feet to the step below it, and then lift your hands up to the step above, and then lift your feet up. And you try and do it with your feet completely facing forward. Try and lock out your knees if possible, and try and lift from the hips, from the bum, so you're not just jumping, and you're thinking about lifting from the hips rather than pushing off the feet, and you're extending out the arms and lifting the feet up and leaning forward in the shoulders.
I'm sure we'll show a clip of that if you're watching the video.
I mean, we got a name for it, haven't we?
What's the name for it?
Not for that movement. Yeah, that's what it's sort of camel. I call it two-legged camel.
Two-legged camel. That's a good one.
But because your back's like a hump. But the name for the actual workout we've come with is Mindful Warrior, and I think that sums it up, because coming from Ninja Warrior.
Ninja Warrior Mindful Warrior.
It is quite ninja-y, but at the same time, mindful encompasses that, what I said about sprinkling of the salt being vegan, and underlining it is like being mindful and taking practices from yoga about non-violence.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe you don't want people just to listen to your advice and start hopping up the steps. You want people to see very clearly what they need to do and what to be mindful of. So yeah, this is not a quick fix. Tim Shieff is not a quick fix.
Yeah, I can't just get in your ear and do it.
It's a mindful warrior program.
Yeah, it's about exercises that are quite simplistic, quite creative, quite childlike. They'll have you on your hands and feet, but also working on the posture and the mobility that we've sort of lost, the awareness. Like, people don't even know how to walk up the stairs. Like, genuinely, I see people in the gyms with PTs, and they've got them with kettlebells doing one-legged squats and pistols, and I'm like, their knees are just shaking, the angles of the ankle, and their knees are really bad, and the hips.
You'd probably say there's a...
And so I'm at the same gym doing really slow one-legged squats with no weight, and there's these skinny people next to me that go, and I'm like... I just stay in my own world and I don't say anything, but I just know that there's a massive gap and potentially a crisis of people that are just getting their bodies into bad angles,
injuring themselves.
Yeah, hammering nails in at the wrong angle. They're cashing checks that that the body can't pay for, and I think we need to address it. And just not many people seem to blur the lines of yoga and workout and stuff. And it isn't like a yoga workout per se, but it's because
yoga inspired,
but it's just the right amounts of yoga, because it's about breathing right, be a bit about presence and about alignment. I guess alignment's a really crucial thing. Because
how long were these classes on the cruise? Were they in the morning, or
they're in the morning? They're about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Yeah, and it was
including a warm up and cool down.
Yeah, and the class itself is partly warm up. Is the real blend. The cool down was like we'd sit and we'd arm or hum, whatever people feel comfortable doing, and we'd squeeze our knees in fetus position. I think we need to get more comfortable in fetus position, because we were in it for 9 months as a baby, and then we grow up and we never, unless we're crying or something, we don't really get into that position. I think especially men I see in gyms with really tight hips, tight knees, tight ankles. They need some, and they're trapped in their emotions. They need to go into fetus position every day for like 5 minutes a day, and just hug their knees into their chest, and just release the spine up there, and roll around, play with it. And I think that's one of the big reasons men don't get into yoga. It's because yoga is way too advanced when you go into a class with lean flexible, a lot of women with looser hips,
trying to keep up,
and they're at the class and they can't even think about the alignment. They're you're trying to do
down
down dog, and down dog on a guy, if you don't have flexibility in your hamstrings, puts all the weight into your arms and shoulders, and you can't actually relax in down dog. And all the women, their weight's a bit more balanced and they can actually relax, and your bottom half's supposed to lean in your top half like that. Now I can barely do that. My weight's still in my shoulders and I'm knackered from just a down dog, so no wonder they don't want to go again. So I want to find a way that people can start to be conscious of this stuff.
So your training's not going to crush you the next day.
You'll only, the idea is that you feel better every day, and that you don't feel, at the end of it, you feel like you could go again. But at the same time, that when you work out, you shouldn't crush your willpower. And this is another thing people do. They go to work out. They know that for that 30 minutes, that 1 hour, they can just mind over matter everything. And this actually burns through their willpower. Then they're releasing endorphins. The adrenaline's running, and so they can do that.
Feel good for that little window.
And they'd feel good for an hour after, and they'd sweat. And then the next day, their body's breaking down. And they're making people make poor choices if you burn your willpower. You've only got so much a day. If your chakras are flowing, you've got more. If your chakras are stiffening up, kids are really, they're really flowing. And so
make poor decisions late in the day.
That we eat badly and all this stuff. So it's about fueling you, so the workout fuels you to go on and make better decisions and to feel freer in your body and to warm you up for the day. And then you can go again the next day, and you can build from that. And you might ache in such a unique way that's really like the length of the muscle rather than around the joint. Do you know what I mean? It's like a real, as you start to get the mobility back. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that snippet from the podcast. If you want to hear more of it, link below. Check out the full thing. You can subscribe for future episodes as well. And I will keep you updated on the Mindful Warrior course as it develops. Thank you again for watching. Be kind to yourself. Peace out.